Is that a chicken nugget? Did I see a chicken nugget?
And some honey, of course, with a Reuben on top. Cheers, everybody, and welcome to the Michigan Bros Grow Show, episode 254. We're your panelists for Rolly, Red, and Becca, and Russ. And we got some Reuben back there, too. He just is a little jealous of the dinosaur-shaped chicken nuggets dipped in the honey. I'm jealous, too.
Oh, my God, me too.
How we doing tonight, guys?
The honey is the best part.
That's true.
Where do you source your honey from?
Oh, we get ours
The
from a
bee's booty.
local
But-
guy.
But which guy is running this bee's booty over here? There's always a bee booty on tap.
He's from our local farmers market.
Nice.
Oh, let's see if his name.
He's got different types of honey. You can get wildflower honey. You can get blueberry field honey. You can get
name
honey.
isn't on it, but
Honey from the pine fields. You can get honey from the. No, yeah, his name's on here. Just his address.
he's a cool dude.
Processed in a clean, sanitary area, not inspected by the Michigan Health Department of Agricultural and Rural Development. Imagine that, a label like that, and that's sold.
Already got red going. I'm curious to know what's the size. Is it like a 12 ounce, 16 ounce, 10 ounce?
This
8
is
Cool guy.
8 ounces.
Okay, so 8 ounce, so half a pint, right? Half a pound, maybe. Well,
Volume. The weight is 227 grams.
okay. So what's the price on something like that?
Probably at least $5.
What was
At
it?
least I would assume probably 10.
$5.50. He likes
Oh.
50 cents.
And
50
he's
cents because the tax man's going to tax him.
He's got bigger. He does glass bottles too. You can choose.
Oh yeah, it's worth the packaging then.
And
It's
this is
reusable.
blueberry honey. Super tasty.
So how does he ensure that he's getting certain flavors of honey?
I believe he takes his bees to specific farms.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Just make sure your bees collect a certain kind of pollen.
I think he's got a couple of different fields and farms himself, and then I think he's got some collaborative efforts with some other local farms. And
He's got a buckwheat honey, and it tastes like you're eating a waffle. It's so rich. And it's delicious.
And so the blueberry honey doesn't taste necessarily like blueberries, but it tastes like blueberry nectar, if you will. Sweeter. Honey's pure sugar, I mean, it's as sweet can be, it is glucose, you know what I mean?
It's forever. It's infinite. It
15
never dies.
15 grams of sugar per tablespoon, you know what I mean? It's an ideally perfect balance of sugar to whatever else is making it viscous itself, but it's great. It's good for you. It's loaded with lots of metabolites that help with your allergies and your autoimmune system and all kinds of stuff, man. It's incredible what bees, their little population, can do for us. It is real sugar too. So a teaspoon of honey a day, you got to think that is 15 grams. 15 grams of sugar. It's
Maybe Becca can chime in here.
grams of sugar.
Maybe
Sorry.
Becca
Eating and
We got
beeping
training and eating and educating at the same time, but I think you could probably chime in here. And honestly, Red, you probably could too. But if honey is this magical syrup and nectar from the bee gods themselves, why can't we feed it to our children under the age of 1?
I think it's the allergens that are
Don't
in
worry
it.
about the allergen.
Yeah. I've heard people who feed their child it from the start and just kind of wing it.
Wing it.
Same with like peanut butter. I know you're supposed to wait on a lot of things. I think it's you got to do it at your own risk. I'm not saying I don't want to say.
Yeah. Follow doctor's orders, of course, but no, it's right that is the potential for allergens, right? Like I think we did wait like until at least 6 months. I think maybe even longer, but pretty sure it was 6 months for both of our kids to try peanut butter. I mean, not that it's not always around in the kitchen and our house and stuff, but yeah, it's some of those things you're just like, all right, let's put put it in their mouth and see what happens. You know, you got to watch them for the next half hour.
I've heard a lot of people will like drive to the hospital and like do it in front of the hospital just in case. They get overboard. If you're like while I'm breastfeeding and stuff, I'm gonna be eating all that stuff. We've got a dog, like those basic allergens. I would hope, it's not something we really need to worry about.
Can allergens cross the placenta would be my question, and then Becca could just be eating it now and would hopefully kind of dose the baby up. And I think a lot of stuff has to do with like
environmental exposures.
Yes, exactly. I mean,
there's nature and there's nurture. There's two things.
If you're talking a parent's lifestyle and then their parents' lifestyle, and like if you're talking a hereditary lifestyle, nothing but like what we're eating right now, basically chicken nuggets, mac and cheese, and all these other things, and you're not getting allergens and you're not getting anything. I'm not saying it's true. I'm not saying it is, but I mean that's how nature works. You know what I mean, and how things are passed down, and how resistances and autoimmunes are passed on. Or immunities are passed on, and autoimmune would be a different thing. But I still think that a lot of that, even autoimmune, is environmentally based. Also, responses that causes flare-ups. This time of year, I always end up getting. Beck said, I just have dry skin. You know what I mean? I get, but very specifically, right here, this little patch of dry skin, specifically in the fall and this time of year. It's humid. It's not dry at all. I'm sweaty. I'm oily. It's eczema, it's an allergy, it pops up this time. Something goes on and one of these botanicals flies up and eczema pops up, you know what I mean? It's mild, nothing crazy. But this time of year, I'll notice a couple of those little conditions, pop up here and there. And ragweed seasons right now, speaking of allergens,
but local honey helps with all that kind of stuff because all that pollen's in there. And
right.
So I just looked it up so I would know because I was interested now. It says honey is a common source of colostrum. I put this in chat because I knew I wasn't going to be able to say these things.
Botulism.
Botulinum spores.
Botulism.
Yeah, but these spores can survive pasteurization, and when ingested by babies, they can produce a toxin that causes a serious condition called infant botulism.
Even last one. Sorry.
So even pasteurized, it survives through that. So that's why they say don't give it to babies because the pasteurization process, you would think it would have that issue. Apparently, you do still with infant botulism.
Interesting.
And I'm sure that babies need time to adapt to their surroundings and gain resistances, pathogen resistance, and all that stuff. Will you not get involved?
Ruben's feeling real humpy right now.
He's in a mode. He's needing our attention because
we've been gone all day.
Hey,
honey's my favorite though. It's the sugar is really fast to digest for me, and my blood sugar's been low like. So far, my whole pregnancy, I'm running super low. And I'll be low all night. I'll wake up 3-4 times having to have some honey or a juice box every day. So it is hard in the middle of the night, but throughout the day, I like to have a little spoonful, and it jacks up my sugar real fast.
I'm glad I was muted because that was hilarious to see that shit go flying through the background behind your head.
He has gotten better, but when we're gone all day, it's crazy.
And I'd love for you guys to talk about why you're gone all day because, man, I can't wait to get to this menu. I know you guys are dealing with Ruben right now, and I understand, but that menu you guys had today was insane.
It was crazy. We got to the craft fair today and had 3 times more jars than we normally have, and each strain had a couple of different selections, so it was overwhelming for us and for all the people. Ruben, that's enough. Go ahead.
Yeah, we're just gonna do the thing here.
I'll distract him.
Shout out to Third Eye Craft Fair. Shout out to Third Eye Muse. Shout out to the Booty Shaking Funk community. Shout out to all of the vendors and everybody. It's been a little while since I've seen Tommy Trichomes. Shout out Tommy Trichomes. Was up there vending. It was great to see him up there. Shout out to 321 Genetics making an appearance up there vending. It's always good to see those guys. High Truth and Gamers Gardens and everybody else who's a big part of all of that.
Hey, I'm going to double down on the Gamers Garden shout out. He was getting down with the backing of the BHO, if you will, in the Pedro comments the other day.
Totally. He's a very, very smart dude. You know what I mean? He's well in tune to variety. You know, he's definitely been around a while. He's got a lot of good things to say and talk about. I enjoy having conversations with that dude. He's a really, really nice dude too, man. He's definitely one of those trying to think of the word, considerate people, you know. He's thoughtful people. He's one of the people that'll be there till the very end. You don't see him packing up early or anything like that. Sits there, he hangs out to the very end, goes out with the crew and all that stuff. We don't. We always have to head home, get home to the. Today we left Ruben at home, so we had to get home to him. I did the trick. I opened up the door to the balcony, so now he has something to go do, which is go outside.
Gives him something to.
He will. So here we go. Now back and forth. He'll just go back and forth, back and forth. So
I want to shout out Blue Kiss. She said I haven't seen it yet. She tagged me in a picture it just takes Spartan Grown on an orange vortex photo on IG. That's cool. I'll take a look at that later. But to see it outside, that's gonna be cool. I haven't seen anything from Orange Vortex outside, and that plant usually gets big, so that's cool. So it's got to be over there. It's probably gonna get pretty big because I know she knows what she's doing.
Hey, while we're in the mode of shout outs, I got to shout out Red and Becca for growing some amazing flower. I had someone DM me asking me about flower, and they were just like so excited because they were stoked on the last flower they got from me, and it was GMO. And I responded, I said, I'm pretty sure that's probably from Red Setter Farms if it's GMO, unless you're talking garlic punch. And they're like, no, it was GMO. I'm like, yep, it was Red Setter Farm. Go hit him up.
Oh yeah. I wonder if they came up to the Fledge today. We had quite the selection. Before I go on to the selection, I would also like to shout out Blue Kiss because bless her heart, she tried to be there today, and I know that things always come up, and but she certainly went there yesterday to go to the Third Eye Craft Fair. Unfortunately, the craft fair was not there yesterday. Blue Kiss, you do rule. You are awesome, and we did miss you today, and we will be seeing you very soon, of course. On to the selection. We finally have brought in a lot of our pheno hunt home.
If I can pull it up, do you mind if I show that video you shared with us?
Yeah, it's a story. It's a little blurry.
Oh, okay, cool.
Because it's my scratched up phone camera. And oh, I sent it to everybody. Okay, yeah. Go ahead and do that. Yeah, you don't have to do it in the story. It'd probably play better off the video I sent to you guys.
Gotcha. Oh wow, that's big.
The genetics primarily favored Archive as a breeder that we did, but we started this pheno hunt back in like January. We've been busy. It's been hell trying to move plants out to the farm. We've kept the original seed mothers all here and did a few of them outdoors, so they're still flowering, in flower, like just starting flower. But we finally got. We did the whole thing, we took clones to act as mothers, and well, not mothers, but we took clones to run, took them out there, and then took clones for mothers. So all of this stuff that you're seeing on the table, we also have a clone for a mother of. And every one of these, like the Tahiti lime there that was just showed, has actually 3 jars behind that sticker. There's most of this, the Granddaddy, all of this latter ones, the GMO, the Grape Jelly, the Granddaddy Purple, all of those are our regular stock that we normally take with us.
I'll go through it again and pause on the menu.
all that stuff there. Those 6 jars that were just shown, these here, there's 2 jars backed up to each one of these tags, 2 different phenos. Actually, the rose gold, we have 4 different phenos that we're hunting. I think we already have keepers of most of these. The Tahiti lime, we have 3 different phenos, and we have already kicked 2 of them. We are still running a couple of them, like here and there. We just have some clones backed up, things like that. But they all have their mothers taken. And the way that I ran this was we didn't take mothers off of the seed stock. We took clones off the seed stock to run out commercial in that environment. And we took mothers off of what we were liking. So we got we took mothers of everything. So fuck. And this is only the front half of like a 3-round. That was actually 2 different rounds. So a couple of those, like the Dub Bubs, for example, and the Tahiti lime on that menu, those were all harvested a month ago, maybe something like that. So they were a little bit more cured up. The Puro Loco, the Rose Gold, and a couple of those just came down a couple weeks ago. So those were a little bit more on the fresh side. And I'm really liking what's coming out of the all 3 of the Rose Gold, Puro Loco, and the Do Lato, all being Moonbow crosses, of course. Moonbow 75, very skunky, very funky. Something about Moonbow is that it's, I believe, Skittles dominant. And interesting characteristic of Skittles is that it's one of very few varieties that are without myrcene. Myrcene. The terpene myrcene. Sorry, I'm mumbling. I'm super fucking faded, guys. I'm sorry. My voice is all scratchy.
Same.
The myrcene. I want to speak this in like a French accent. I don't know why. The myrcene. My great grandmother was Maltese. And she had this crazy. That's literally like her accent. Myrcene is how she would say that. Myrcene is kind of how she bust that out. Like I said, I'm faded, so I'm gonna trail off into this one, guys. I'm sorry. Here we go.
You just tell us about your strains and all the beautiful different terps, and I can't wait to try them all.
Likes the myrcene. Myrcene can be sedating. Can kind of be what's causing a lot of sedation in strains in cannabis. And I've noticed that when I've tested a lot of purple varieties, Granddaddy Purple, strawberries and cream, a lot of these, they're really high in myrcene, for example. And a lot of genetics are high in myrcene. You're going to see myrcene everywhere, dude. And Skittles happens to be one of those that is either dominant, is like doesn't have it. So
I also see it. It seems to be in a lot of commercial strains, and I don't know if it's a trait of the indica profile or something like that. But I notice it in the GMOs, kind of that kind of leaners, and then also in the pies.
Oh.
Those pies, man, they knock me out. Maybe Tara, welcome,
Tara.
Maybe she could speak to the pies, because I know you love the different types of pies, right? And 321 Genetics, you brought him up. I mean, he's got quite a few different kind of strains that kind of lean into that.
Yeah, he's got a lot of purples on
Scotty pie is the newest thing that I really love.
Honestly, that's the pie that I'm thinking of, Tara. That one will put me in the dirt every freaking time I take a dab of it. And it's like, I got to be careful when I take a dab of it, honestly.
And I'll tell you one that...
That's a good one. I really enjoy that.
One that I don't believe has much myrcene also is the Durban Margie was really good, man. It's like got a little bit of citrus to it, just a little bit, but it's kind of more Durban,
like like the Annecy Durban, that kind.
It's more sweet,
okay,
right? But it's a little bit floral, but it kind of reminded me of like Citrique with this limey. Must have been the Margie really coming through on it. But the effects are nice and uplifting. I really like the effects on that one. The Golden Goat is another one that's similar to Citrique, a little bit more like hazy, a little less on the lemon, a little bit more on the spice, kind of nutty, actually, like almost like a cashew, like a cashew flavor or something like that. It's kind of interesting, know.
Can I side quest real quick?
Yeah, dude, let's side
He's gonna start talking about cashew encrusted meats.
I went up to the gas station tonight in hopes that they would have a bag of cashews because it was the one thing I was missing from my pineapple Thai chicken fried rice. Thank you, Red and Becca. Ever since Gems and Genetics, that's all I've been thinking about. And I made a giant batch of it tonight, and it was delicious. And I actually used green onions. Normally I just use sweet onions, but I had a half. The only thing I didn't actually have was like the sweet chili sauce, but I made it without it, and it was still fine.
Dude, we have green onions the size of me.
Yeah.
They're like this big around. Like each leaf is like seriously in diameter. They're massive.
Like a cannabis stalk.
They're huge. We just let them go. Like people pull green, like you see green onions in the store. They're like that big around. They're like that tall. They're bunched. They're in a bunch of them. If we bunched these, it would be like this. You know, you like haul
They're
them.
burger sized. Yeah, you put them on a burger. You know what I mean? Who cares about slicing onions at that point?
You make onion rings out of those fuckers. You just-
Oh, great idea! Great idea. You got to do one at a time in the pan, but hey, you know it's like pancakes. Whatever.
They are. You cut them and they're like big old rings. And we've been putting them in soup. Becca's made soup.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I use the whole thing.
Month probably.
So, do you guys notice like a taste difference? Because people will say, like, you know, taking things to, you know, bolting or whatever, you know, it might change it to maybe a bitter taste or not
bitter.
That, but...
No, the onion for sure. And
those onions are always that way. Yeah, man. They always stink too. Every time I go-
Stinkier the better, right?
I guess with the onion, it would go more fibrous, I suppose, because that it's not really going to flour. It's not going to flour for like another year. So like it would be just getting big and fibrous. And I don't notice that either. I mean, I think that it's good. We cook them. So, you know, maybe if we were into raw onions, I might notice a difference, but we cook it down. So I don't know. It's still sweet. It's still got a lot of flavor, sugars, all that stuff. I think it's awesome, man. And they're still out there doing their job as a preventative maintenance for pests. You know what I mean? They're out there repelling the, you know, whatever doesn't like onions, which is a lot of shit, you know, and we keep them like around our cannabis and around our peppers and some things like that. We're having the best season for peppers ever. We don't have the earwig infestations like we've had, and it's, I think
no ant issues or anything like that.
Ants are here and there, but a lot of the ant issues I came across earlier in the season while I was planting, and when I entered an ant colony, I just didn't even plant there. I just moved away, moved on to somewhere else, and I just started putting other shit there.
You didn't put a firecracker in the hole, and then...
Should I suppose get out there and just put a giant magnifying glass right over
pour some gasoline down it, and revert back to 11 years old.
All of our
this
squash.
is cool. This is really cool.
Especially the loofah. They'll be all over the loofah.
And they're not farming aphids.
They're not eating it or destroying them in any way.
They're not ruining it. They're just
what are they doing?
Dude, it's I don't know if they're sucking sap. I don't know. We didn't see any aphids.
Have you tried asking them? Say, yo,
Kind of.
so
We should have been invited them on the podcast. Jeez.
Listen long enough, you could probably hear them in there, dude. There's so many noises coming out of this garden. Oh my god, a grasshopper flew in the fucking house the other night. I mean, a big fucking grasshopper, and we're sitting here. I didn't think anything of it. You know what I mean? Like, whatever, dog will find it or something. And we're sitting here, and it's I don't know, 10 o'clock or something. We're like chilling down, fucking watch something on TV, and this thing started chirping. Cricket chirps are loud and annoying, but the fucking the things that are like going off out in the field that are like at that pitch where it's really fucking loud are grasshoppers, dude. And that fucker was in the house, and it just was resonating throughout the entire house.
It went in a vent.
It eventually made its way. Before it got in the vent, it was fucking loud, but it eventually made its way into the vent system of our house and was fucking ringing everywhere. It's for whom the bell tolls around here, dude. Dong.
oh my god, dude,
Dude, it was like, yeah.
And then we found it dead. It was just sitting on our kitchen counter, just like dead. We have no idea why. Maybe it got cold from like air conditioning or something, but
so it is stashed in our dead things closet over here.
I couldn't find it. I was trying to find it on Instagram while you guys were talking, but I believe it was the Air Force did a flyover at the U of M game or something this past weekend, and there was like a quick compilation video of the whole setup and just them doing it. But in one of the planes, there was a grasshopper that was chilling on the windowsill of the freaking jet, like going for a ride, I guess.
This year's actually been the year of spiders for us.
It's a
Yeah.
big spider.
Buttons.
Absolutely. It's a big spider.
Huge wolf spiders all up in our arbor,
Monsters.
and they've made like those hole nests, you know. And so I walk out there and I look in both sides because there's a couple of them. They're on both sides, and they're flipping enormous. I'm really waiting for the chickens to eat them, but they're too fast.
Spiders are fast.
And I have to just kick the sides of the arbor and they go back into their holes.
Big
So,
wolf spiders,
but
man.
they're huge.
I didn't think wolf spiders were supposed to make webs, but I guess maybe with nesting or something. I thought they burrowed, and these ones are like up in the like these are super wolf spiders.
They're
Man.
huge.
Super wolf.
They're
Fuck,
like
dude.
that big.
Like what is it? Werewolf spiders. There we go. They're werewolf spiders.
Yeah.
Did I ever tell you the story about the wolf? Oh, I don't know if it was a wolf spider, but the spider that moved into the garage of one of the grows I built.
I don't think so.
So I used to grow with HIDs, right? And I had this one grow set up that was in an outbuilding. It was in a small garage, and it had a couple different rooms, and it all had air-cooled HID lights. And these HID lights were all hooked up to tubing. They all had the glass covers on them and everything, and all that ducting would blow directly out of a kind of sealed up exhaust vent, right? Well, this sealed up exhaust vent was built around a window that no longer existed. We removed the window, built our own kind of like makeshift wall with some ducting, and there we go, right? Well, 2.5 years into this, when it came time to move along and kind of undo what we did with building a grow in this building, we took off this 4 or 5 foot wide by 3 or 4 foot tall piece of plywood on the inside, and the insulation and in between, and of course the plywood on the outside, pulling off these ducts and everything, right? And somehow living in between our false walls in this cavity of a window along this superheated ducting was this spider that was, I'm not kidding you, the size of a grapefruit. I've never seen something so big. If you put it up against a 2x4, it would be bigger than a 2x4. I don't know how long this thing had been living there. I don't know what it was eating, but it was certainly protecting that air duct like it was its home for 2.5 years. And I've never been scared of spiders like I was of this thing. I think there's monsters in the night that could scare me more, but no, this is the nightmare that I deal with now. Is this? I didn't know these things existed in Michigan.
It was eating every fungus gnat that made its way into the hood system.
Anything that smelt that grow room, it was snatching up, whether it was small dogs, bats, I don't know what, man, but it was eating everything.
I'd have
This
kept
thing was-
feeding them so it'd get cops, everything,
we were moving out, so good luck to whoever was behind us. Man.
Yeah, it's been the year of them though. All over, there's these huge spider webs. I find some gnarly looking spiders, like fugly ones, and one was eating a grasshopper the other day.
Yeah, I think was that the orb?
Skeleton?
We had the orb spider.
Ugh, man,
I've been
just nasty looking. Just like, why
Big
do you
suckers.
look like that?
What are you? That
I've
is rude.
So
Scary.
So in between the glass panel and the actual dials in our display in our truck, in our dashboard, there's a spider's exoskeleton just curled up and bleached, and it's just
No way
I gotta
to get
take the
out.
whole fucking dashboard apart to get the fucking display out. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna fucking do that.
Try
It's-
some like compressed air or something.
there's
I don't know.
no,
Oh,
it's
nothing.
all sealed up. You know, I don't know how to fucking get in there. I don't even want to fuck with it.
It's just a relic now.
dude, it's been there for 2 years. Yeah, it's been in there for, like,
Been
it
there
happened
for a
like
while.
6 months after we got the truck. This thing was just like all of a sudden one morning I go out there, I'm like, oh shit, there's a spider in there, and I'm like, oh, the spider left its exoskeleton for me to just kind of look at for the rest of the existence of this truck. That was-
More annoying thing to me is like the spider webs everywhere. It's like,
Yeah.
don't put them by my living spaces, bastards. You know, like you can have the garden, you know, but don't put a big old spider web on the porch stairs going down. I mean,
right.
we got one on our granddaddy purple right now, and it's like it's not like a big massive web. It's just like one little thread from one bud to another bud to another bud to another bud. That's all it is. And I try to peel
He's
it off.
just looking.
It was like seriously a silk, like serious
They're thick.
thick
I'm seeing
thread, dude. I was like,
thick
what
ones.
is this? And it was like felt like thread wrapped around my finger. You know what I mean? It had some weight to it. It had some thickness to it. Some
Yeah,
I
what's
think my daughter-in-law got bit by one of those wolf spiders like the
Oh,
week
they're no
before last.
they're no
She
joke.
had like 2 gashes on the back, like two like fang marks on the back of her leg, and that had fresh blood. She ended up having to go to the ER and get medicine for it and everything. It swelled up
Really?
like this big on the back of her kneecap. It was really bad.
Yeah.
And then
Did they circle
got
it?
this terrible, yeah, we did, and it went outside the circle. Then
Yeah.
it got like after like what was it, 3 days? It got like a horrible bruise on it.
Oh,
I felt
dude.
so bad for her.
Spider
That's
bites
what
are
I'm
the worst.
scared. Like that's why I always look at where these spiders are because I want to see them. Because if I can't see them, I know they're out lurking.
I get them. I used to get them on my hands all the time, and none of them ever like that. Was it wolf or was that a brown recluse? That
They
That
think
sounds
it was like a wolf spider because
Wolf
the marks were too big for a brown recluse. They're teeny
Huh.
tiny.
did they check to see if it was a werewolf spider?
it could have been a werewolf spider.
They were between
It
a
is a full
spider
moon
and a
tonight.
snake. But we came to the conclusion that the snake probably would have held on to her probably, and so that's why they were leaning towards spider probably because she was over by. They just moved and they're on this new property and there's a pond and the pool and she was shaking out the pool strainer and she thinks maybe she might have dislodged a spider from the railing of the fence. We're not sure.
Oh, there's spiders everywhere. She just lodged it from somewhere. That's for
Oh
sure.
yeah, there's so many spiders where they're at in their new property. Oh my goodness.
I'm good with. I really am like trying to respect spiders and be like, "You're good."
Yeah.
Me. And when they get close to me, gives me the heebie-jeebies. But in the garden, you know, I've had to really get used to them. I was always terrified of spiders as a kid,
Mhm.
ever. And so now I'll spray off the whole area with water before if I have doing a big weeding job or something, just to because they'll scatter. So
Yeah, they will.
just
I
try.
think Nut Tree can relate, and probably Spartan if he went outdoors more. But one of the problems about being
What does
tall,
What the fuck does that mean? If I go outdoors more?
because I know you're gonna have something to say about it. One of the problems about being tall is you're always the one to clear the spider webs from the trails. Am I wrong?
That or always the first
yeah.
person.
Yeah, you tell all the guys go ahead and walk in front of me.
But even if the first person is going, we're still catching some at forehead height down the road. You know what I mean? Like we might as well go first, I guess.
I walk through the garden in spaces where there's stuff around, and I go like this. I walk
The neighbors think Beck is like blind or something, and she's just.
places.
Where's my raspberries?
Our A-frames got spider webs, and so I'm terrified of. I just don't want a spider on my face.
Just
And
get you a good walking stick, and then just go around and just smack the shit out of all the spider webs.
last
Walk
summer we
sticks
had a
for
big spider web. If you walk out of our basement door, there's where our hammock goes, and there was a huge spider web up in the corner, and I walked right into this bitch.
Oh Jesus! You know what you do?
Oh, I was on the hammock when she did it. I was sitting there and she just walked right and it was there and I was looking at it and I
Hate
watched.
it.
Stay on the hammock, or did you flip off it as she flew by?
Oh no, I just watched her do the thing. I just watched.
He's like, I just watched it happen.
You knew
Didn't
it
help.
there,
I didn't
man.
help her.
I knew it was there. We'd been avoiding it for days. You know what I mean? And I was just
She goes through the whole thing, and then Red says, "Hey, watch out for that spider web right over there."
one of us was waiting for the other to walk into it so we could have a fucking, a little laugh.
Me, and so I'm sure
Did
And,
you just leave?
it's not helpful.
You know what you should do is take some of your wands and get them somehow so you could affix them to a belt or something.
Yeah,
And then you have your wand. You could just
there you go.
look like you're throwing spells at least out there.
Yeah, see,
I'm
wand
not just
wand
like-
holsters will be the next. They'll be. I have to get into leather.
A whip.
Wand holster.
What is the term for
It's a
leather?
wand holster, man.
I don't think
Leather-
it's leathery.
Leather crafting, wallet making. Is it just called wallet making?
Think
Leather-
video games. What are they?
Leatherworking.
Not blacksmithing.
Leatherworking. There we go. Thank you.
Leatherworking.
Yeah, it's leatherworking. You're right.
Leatherworking. I was close with leathery. I mean, that's pretty,
Leathery.
pretty damn close
You're
to
leathery.
leatherworking. I mean, I'm pretty leather RG right now because I smoked some of this fucking Dub Bub, which smelled like pine, and I was like, some pine. Oh, it's got Dozy Dough and Bubba Kush in it. So I'm like, yeah, this
Oh gosh, yeah.
is like very,
Not
very,
open.
very.
Yeah, that bubble kush will get you.
Dude, it's.
I was like, that's what you're smoking right now? Really? It's an experiment.
I was like, it's an experiment. I was, not the profile I normally smoke. So I was, I'm really been wanting pine tree. And all day I've just been, sharing this with people all day. And it smells like fucking Bronner's. And for those that don't know, Bronner's is the Christmas store up here at fucking in Frankenmuth. And,
that place.
and that's what I've been going to, man. Like I've been showing everybody this jar saying, this smells like taking a walk through Bronner's. And I'm probably talking to people from Indiana and Ohio, so they have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about. So, whatever. That's a Michigan, right? And,
Most of them do.
The Michigan Bros Grow Show. It's not the Indiana Grow Show.
Get it right.
That's right.
so I go into the Michigan. It just does smell like Bronner's, though. It's very pine heavy, I'd say, like a Christmas wreath. And smoking it was really nice too. On the exhale, I could really smell it. And what I wanted to say in the prior conversation is, I don't know what I would do without spiders. To be honest, I love spiders, and I couldn't imagine a home clear or free of bugs or spiders. We have our door without a screen, just wide open right now.
They have a purpose. Yes.
Bugs in here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like walking under their webs, and I don't like them crawling on me, but I like everything else they do. They just, as long as I don't have to interact, you know what I mean? That's kind of where I'm at with it.
Oh yeah, we have understanding in this house. I'm like, as long as you don't fucking touch me and you stay in these areas, that's your spots. But if you fucking come out in my areas, you're dead. I will smash.
Yeah, I
You're
do.
not paying rent, so
That's right.
They get too close, I just flick them, and I felt really bad because there was a beetle, and I was like, "You're in my space," and I flicked it across the room, but it was like not a flying beetle, and it just like flew across the room.
Oh, it was a flying beetle. Then it was probably a great experience for that beetle. It's never flown in its life, and it was just like,
oh, this is what it's like. Shot out of my cannon, dude. Like, woo.
We had some stink bugs. One stink bug that was like with us for a while, and it would just be
Oh
all
my God.
over.
I will smash a stink bug all day long. I fucking can't stand them
They
things.
don't do anything. They just crawl around.
They're invasive as fuck, and they eat plants.
and they procreate.
Our plants, not the house.
It was
plants.
just
It
one. His name was Bob. He didn't hurt
Bob,
anybody.
man. Bob hung out with us all winter long, dude. Bob, we'd be looking, and Bob would be crawling across the floor, super fucking slow, and Dog would just be like looking at him, sniff him, like,
Ruben
sniff
got
it.
his toy apart.
yeah. Look at this.
I got news for you guys. There's definitely more than just one Bob in that house all winter long. That's how they
they
survive
are.
the winter.
We
A
just
couple
called
of
it
them,
Bob.
yeah.
So it was the
The
same
one
one
or
to
two.
us.
Yeah.
They'll take an attic, they'll take a basement, they'll take just a crevice and a windowsill. They'll take whatever they can get. Oh, look at that thumbs up. Thank you guys.
Didn't notice any issues with hey, thumbs up.
What was that?
With the houseplants. I'm not sure
It's a Siri iOS thing.
how protected everything was, or how they were feeding, but I'm sure it was on some plants.
Just like that.
What?
Taking Cup from chat was saying you should spray yourself with Arrow Guard, and spiders won't get on you even in their webs.
Arrow Garden.
Arrow Guard, burning, swelling like a golf ball finger pain. Been there, so he must be talking about getting bit by a spider.
Dude, the worst one about we get these little wolf spiders up here, but they just make you itch really, really fucking bad. But they're not in webs either. Like I'll be digging in the garden, and they just come out of nowhere, and it's usually the females with the eggs on them. I'll just see it. I won't feel it bite me. I won't see it on me. I'll just see the spider. And if I see the spider, I usually go, fuck.
Well, you don't wear shoes. You don't.
Right. That is a thing. That's a
what
thing.
can you expect?
I'm usually out there standing in ant piles going, you see me dancing around. I'm probably standing in a fucking fire ant pile.
Which is fine. No shoes is good, but you're going to get bit.
Grounding. Splinters. I don't know how many splinters I've been pulling out of my feet this year. This year was an endless amount of splinters.
Hey guys, if they bite, they're not ladybugs, right?
Probably Japanese beetle. What are the other type called?
Those orange ones.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know, but do they eat the similar things? I wouldn't really.
I would imagine they would, don't they?
Yeah, I would think so. I'd be fine with them. I think.
Yellow ones too. Are the yellow ones?
It's another
I didn't know
invasive
they
species,
would
right?
bite you though. Darn.
I've been bit by those orange ones.
I haven't had a
Really?
bite.
That's why those ones are another KOS. They get anything that bites me gets the KOS list, man. Kill on sight. Anytime I
Yeah.
see you, I put it out there for them. I'll leave the dead body by the door and be like, look, guys, That's what happens when you bite.
we found out if you like put your finger or something up against this like near a spider and they do that thing where they come back like that and they're about to, then just smash them. If they don't, they're just leave them, whatever. Here's another question. This might be more for, I don't know, maybe Spartan can answer this too with his commercial experience. I don't have really an experience with Do-si-do, but I saw that as one of the strains on a list of the menu we showed from the Third Eye Craft Fair with the Red Setter Farm, right? Can you get an experience with Do-si-do, anybody?
Yeah, we've had some experience with Do-si-do.
We have our lemon Do-si-do.
Do-si-do is Face Off OG and Face Off OG and like Triangle Kush or something like that. It's a bunch of OG Kushes basically. You're going to find a OG Kush profile. You're going to have something that's in that like terpenoline, pine, gas, I would say not really skunk gas, but more like a OG Kush gas. It's hard. The only way I can describe this is like the OG Kush because it's so definitive OG Kush. I even got it when we grew out the Dub Bub. We had one very, very OG Kush, like True OG, Ghost OG, Fire OG, SFV OG. That familiar profile that comes in leaning in all of those because it's all pretty much the same. Just grown in different regions of OG Kush. But it's that pretty much profile is what you're gonna get on like the Do-si-do. There's a couple Do-si-dos though, and depending on which ones. There's like Do-si-do 18, Do-si-do 22.
It's Girl Scout cookies and Face Off OG.
Face Off OG and Girl Scout cookies. Okay, yeah. So you're gonna get. There are definitely different phenos.
Ah, makes sense. It's named for the Girl Scout cookie, the Do-si-do Girl Scout cookie.
Oh, that does make sense.
Our lemon Do-si-do is a super strong grower. It's got very strong branches and very like thick golf balls all up the whole thing. I don't know if what's the other side of that? Lemon lime?
On the lemon
Do-si-do?
Do-si-do, it is. Yeah, it's got a little bit of gas to it, but the lemon really comes through. Whatever's on that. Does it say Papa Burger?
This is
Yes,
triple. Is
sir.
it Papa or triple?
No, it's the Papa Burger.
Oof.
Which
Love that one.
select?
Shout out. Back home forward. So there we go. I've got that. I got Functified. We got some.
Oh,
Spartan
geez, that
View.
Functified is so funky. Jeez,
It's good.
I can
Good.
barely handle that one. It's so like.
I was lucky enough to get some GMO from Snosberry Farms.
nice.
Actually, that's a strange story right there. I got that in Cincinnati.
Oh, yeah.
My son's friend, I introduced him to Not Your Grandma, so he went up and grabbed some from her and brought it back down to Cincinnati because I wasn't able to make the trip up there. So he grabbed it and I grabbed it from him in Cincinnati. So
Nice. Very
yeah.
nice.
Shout out, not your grandma 313.
Yes, yes, love it. Gosh, I love this GMO so much. It's so great. Oh,
She's been doing this really cool thing. What's it called? Detroit blessing boxes. I
the
believe.
blessing boxes.
Yeah.
She's got a couple of those like magazine boxes or book boxes or something like that in her front.
Mhm.
She's got about 3 of them now. She started out with one of them. She got 3 of them in some coolers. Started out with one of them in a cooler. Maybe she just started out with a cooler. I don't know. She's got all
I
kinds
think
of
she
stuff
just started off with a cooler.
with the cooler. And in the cooler, short little bottles of ice, some Capri Suns, some juice boxes, some stuff like that. In the other cooler, some food items. In the newspaper boxes, canned foods, shelf-stable foods, non-perishable foods, stuff that you can get, some toiletries, deodorant,
Mhm.
toothbrush,
Narcan also. She also has Narcan.
Narcan. Maybe
Yeah,
I'll
she's a good woman.
with some fentanyl tests. That's a good thing. Maybe we'll find some shit. Maybe we'll throw some fentanyl tests in there. The idea behind it is there for the needy, is there for do you need supplies? Can you not make it to the grocery store? Is this a grocery store desert? Are you unable to make it somewhere? You have the ability to if you live on her block, in her neighborhood. She's there for her community. She's doing it for her neighborhood, and she's getting a lot of it. People are donating stuff to the cause. So people are donating, the toiletries, donating food items, probably. I'm guessing maybe even donating things like the coolers or like the boxes and stuff that she uses.
Yeah.
I think some of that stuff's been donated from people. She has a blessing box for her family as well. This is in dedication and memory to her son who was lost a couple years ago, and it's a beautiful thing that she's doing for the community, and she does have a little spot that says take what you need, and they also accept donations. So like if you want to pay $2 for the deodorant, here, toss $2 in there. Couldn't make it to the grocery store, you can at least make it right there. If you still want to be you have money and you can afford it, give her some money to afford it. That way she can help buy somebody something else. And then if not, if you can't afford it, well, it's there at Goodwill for you, and that's awesome stuff, man. I've been seeing a lot of things very similarly. That's a hard tangent, so I won't go that hard
She
yet.
she has an Amazon wish list for donations and that kind of stuff. So
There you
super
go.
cool.
Do you know the name of that wish list? If anybody wants to.
Darn it, I do not.
Let's
Shout out the Instagram
Yeah.
handle or something. Yeah.
shout out the Instagram and
Not
then
your grandma
Not
313.
your grandma.
Grandma 313,
Link in bio.
Salisbury Farms.
Salisbury Farms, and I believe
Was it the blessing box or something like that? It's something similar.
it's Detroit Blessing Box or something.
I can look it up.
She's also in part of the Sesh for a Cause. I
Yes.
believe there's a couple of them. She's one of the Sesh for a Cause groups out there. And what Sesh for a Cause does is they give back. They take percentage proceeds, whatever, from some of these events that are hosted. The events will have raffles and stuff like that.
Douglas.
Cause. And they'll partner up with Sesh for a Cause, and the Sesh for a Cause will give back to shelters, human shelters, animal shelters, schools, all kinds of shit, dude. Sesh for a Cause is given to so many things. They do backpacks for kids, and anyway.
I just shared it. Can I do links?
Yeah, you
Looks
should
like
be
I
able
can.
to.
Yeah, it's clickable in the chat.
I can share the screen. I've got it up. The is it NW Detroit blessing boxes?
Yeah.
All right, it's them right here.
Yeah, check that out, guys. She's doing that. You could too. You could do that too.
Oh, yeah, here's the wish list right here. She's got it linked in right on the front page of her Instagram. NW Detroit blessing boxes.
And so this is holy cow. I don't know. I don't know what locate. Look, free food. There you go. She's mentioned that it's had to go in her in the driveway recently because of some road crews or something, and I'm not sure exactly if I don't want to like out her location or anything, but this whole thing is very cool for what they have for her very immediate and local community. And I don't know if you saw it, but there was a little sign that talks about, take, leave, take, and it's in dedication and memory to her son, and all that's very public. And there you go, right there. It was one of her signs. And it's a great thing, man. She just wants to give back to her community that's given to her. It seems like her son was a very giving person, and that this is something that he would have appreciated, and it seems to be that's why she's doing it. So big shout out to you, Not Your Grandma 313, if you're watching, if you're out there in the stream. It's good.
Yeah, that's significant right there.
It really is.
That's huge.
Take what you need, leave what you can, be courteous, be kind, be respectful of the neighborhood and of the times yard.
And I definitely would never fuck with her.
Of this yard.
No,
Ever.
not at all.
Spencer Adams. Shout out to Spencer.
Yeah.
Yeah, shout out.
Ruben Space.
She's doing such a good thing out there.
I gotta look at I want to search up Blue Kiss real quick because she was saying earlier that she put up a picture
Oh my gosh, did she ever? Yes.
of some vortex or some orange vortex. Here it is, right here, probably. That looks like orange vortex. Yeah. Orange vortex at sunset. There you go.
Yes, what a beautiful picture
see
she
how-
got.
It gets these really tight fucking nodes on it. Of course, it's the cola, but
Yeah, it's stacked. Nice
But
frost
you get-
rolls down the leaves too.
she gets fat.
Pointy.
She gets like big and fat nugs, but they're not super dense. So that's like, imagine she's gonna be a good washer. I've never seen her outside. That looks awesome.
Beautiful shot, Lucas.
Yeah, but I'm gonna like that.
The sun's fading in the background. It's a nice evening.
Tonight was gorgeous. The sky was gorgeous.
Mhm.
The lighting is beautiful.
Mhm.
Whoa.
No bite.
Got any events coming up then, Red and Becca? You guys doing another farmers market or anything soon? Or
We've got a farmers market this upcoming Thursday. That's in Pittsfield Township. And then we're planning on doing the Gems and Genetics in October. And that's October 19th. And then there's also a craft affair, another Third Eye Craft Affair at the Fledge, the end of the month, October 27th.
The end of October. Yeah, the flyer for the craft affair just dropped today, and I believe that Nate announced the next 4 dates. I believe October, November, and maybe December. It might even be through the end of the year. And the not December. Okay, so October, November. The one in November actually comes at the end of hunting season this time, not right smack dab
yay!
or in the beginning of it.
Remember that last year, like trying to like figure it out if we were gonna send the ladies to go take it.
It was like, no, dude, you can't have weddings or events on opening day. So let's see here. We plan to do those events. Yeah, the one Gems and Genetics, that's in Morley, Michigan at Sarnes Resort. That's a very fun place. We've been out there every time we talk about it. It's always a great time. I don't think we're camping, of course.
I was gonna say, is that a multi-day, 1 day? What is it?
It's a 1 day. It's a 1 day, but I
That's one day. Yeah.
they're allowed and having a little party and a camp out and stuff like that. But we're
The Trichome Forge will be out there too.
pretty far north
Nice.
for camping in mid-October. So I think that we're just gonna
Maybe he needs to
drive home. Yeah, I would take them out. That's it. There's let me think here. We might hit an event next weekend. There's a Hareem next weekend. I don't know if we're going to do it. We might out of necessity need to do it. we have all of these.
Where's the harem at?
I don't know where it's at. That one's in probably their usual place up on
Byron or Muskegon?
the Muskegon, Grand Rapids area. Yeah, I'm really not sure. I just J-Mac, Highline J-Mac was telling me about it a little bit today, telling me I should check that one out. There was another one that I haven't had a chance. You know what? I don't know. I don't know, so I'm not going to shout it out right now because I don't want to do that. Let's see here. Yeah, I only want to make sure. I like to vet promoters and stuff like that before we do all these shout out. Even though I guess it's an access point. You know, so I probably should shout it out. Let's see. Oh yeah.
Can you take him outside?
All right, I'll go take him outside.
He's like not chilling out.
I know my dogs have been super excited to see me because I've been gone all week. So I've been staying down in Cincinnati while I've been working. So I've been coming home to Defiance on the weekends. So they're like crazy once they see me.
Yeah, Ruben, he gets so excited. He's so attached to us. It's cute for sure, but he needs a lot of attention.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm thankful that these two have each other because they take a lot of it away from us having to mess
Yeah, I
with.
think that's the trick too. Is have. I know it sounds like a bad idea, but it's kind of a trick. Have two of them to kind of
Yeah.
run around with each other and screw around with each other.
It's not a trick, man. It's important. They're pack animals. You know what I mean? There's certain like it's bringing up alpacas. You know, do a little throwback here. Like an ethical alpaca farmer won't sell you one alpaca. You know, you're supposed to have like 2 and ideally 3 alpacas on a farm at a time because they're social animals, right? And I think dogs are similar to that. I don't think I can say the same thing about cats. I think they probably enjoy being on their own a little bit and quite a bit, but you know.
Well, considering
Ducks,
I have
that's another one.
13 right now, they still like to all be around each other.
Should have took a picture of them on Friday the 13th.
Oh gosh, we should have. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even realize it was Friday the 13th until we were past midnight on the Variables podcast. Someone brought it up, and I was like,
he
"Well, I'm
told
not
me
here
about it
anymore."
that morning. I was more worried about it because it was a driving day for me, so I was like, you know. So
Yeah.
no worries, so no problems. I'm excited. My first room at work is getting harvested tomorrow, so I'm super
Nice.
excited.
How many days do you guys take it?
65.
Okay, nice.
But here's this is the other little thing is like I don't do the harvest part.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a little like weirded out because it's like I'm used to being a part of all of it. You know, when I was at Freedom Green, you did it all. So for me to like let go and let everybody else just come in and do it, I'm in the other room going, "What's going on over there? I want to know. I want to know. I want to know." So I'm excited. I've got some huge colas in there, but you know, obviously always worried about everything coming out fine. And I took over this room mid cycle, so you know, I can't really take. I really just managed it. You know,
I mean, you just finished the race at that point.
Pretty much. You know,
that's
I
a
just
rough
kept it from,
situation.
you know, getting messed up or anything like that kind of thing. Which normally, you know, in the settings that we have, it's you know hard to mess it up at that point. You know, obviously, unless we had a climate control issue problem, that can always you know make it go shit. But yeah, super excited to see how that turns out tomorrow. And I just last week hit day 21 with my room that I planted, you know, and so it's shot up there, and it's amazing to see how fast these plants really grow when they're really dialed in.
And that's the thing. Now you have the opportunity to dial something in from start to finish in the flower room, right? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Whereas that last batch, it was handed out. That's kind of
Yeah,
a
it was
hard
pretty much
position to be
just kind
thrown
of
into.
handed off to me. You know, this one I've trellised it, I've scrogged it, I've skirted it, you know, the whole, not just myself, my team and I, you know, I've got a really good team that I work with, and it's been super fun through the whole process. But I've honestly, you know, I was at Freedom Green for 2 years, and I cannot remember plants like growing this fast. And I don't know why, but I really, over the Labor Day weekend, I came back and about on Tuesday, I was like, what the fuck happened? So it was really amazing to see that kind of growth in the plants. But yeah, super stoked to see how tomorrow goes. And oh my gosh, I want to try some of that new flower so bad.
I was enlarging it for the humping, but I guess we'll look at the flower too.
Yeah, I want to try some of that flower so bad.
He's still humping. And I can feel your
This is the
penis
Dolato.
above me.
Smells like
Nice.
walking into a Goodyear shop. It's
Mm.
like a rubber ball. It's kind of like Rainbow Driver for the little sweeter. This is the Durban Margie.
It's hard to tell what they really look like.
I mean, it looks frosty from here.
Yeah, nice nugs. Oh, I can't wait to try that.
Seriously.
Nice and green. Finally got some green genetics, man. The rose golds are all green. Tahiti lime took a little color to it. It was kind of nice. Actually, one of the rose golds had a little bit of purple to it, but the ones that were really greasy, the one that got a little bit of purple to it was a little cakey, little doughy. The ones that are all green and greasy, all like sweet gas. Super thick colas, dude. So thick that chlorophyll's like not getting into the inside. It's super wild.
Wow.
They're like white on the inside. One of these Dolatos is like reddish orange on the inside. It's like really hard to discern the difference between. Discern the difference. Is that how you say that?
That's right. Yeah.
Between the difference between like the colors of the plant and like deteriorating like flower or something like that. You know.
Did you feel that you needed to do anything different on your drying and curing methods than you normally do because of, the differences in these strains?
No, not really.
Okay.
We, just out of just general, we actually took the last 2, I think, crops. We haven't been drying in our normal dry room. We've been drying in our other flower room because it's been so hot and we don't have air conditioning. So we've been drying in our other flower room, and rather than flowering in it, we've kind of had it shut down just to kind of, just for production reasons,
Of course.
Don't want to grow more than we can move or anything like that. So we've been utilizing it for other reasons, which is using it for shit. The air conditioner is going to run anyway because it's cool in a veg space. So the humidity in that room stayed about 60%. I was hoping to creep down into the 50s a little more than it does, but we're almost out of the hard part of the humid season. So it's going to be 10% humidity before we know it, and I'll be wanting to put humidity into the air, and I'll be dealing with those whole issues. But with that being said, some of these colas have been astronomically large for summer crops. So
I think it's the higher crop. I think it's you're running the high VP. When you on the high temperature with the high humidity, you get these monster fucking buds, man.
Like the golden goat, I never seen it looked like Citrique, but like all the way down, just like massive.
I absolutely love to de-leaf golden goat. It just picks so nice.
We have a second pheno running. It's maybe 2 weeks in flower right now, but the one that we just finished, I have some I can smoke. I have some like bottoms and some larf for my morning wake and bake because I really like it in the daytime.
Yeah, I love golden goat. Gosh, I we really enjoy that one.
Smoked it at the Fledge though, and I'm like, oh, that's weed. Oops. Right? I'm like so used to all this other stuff.
It sold out too. It's one
It did.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Especially new stuff too. You always like new stuff, and gives you a different buzz sometimes.
I had a harder time today, like talking about the newer strains because I'm not smoking, and so I'm trying to describe the flavor and I smell, and it's usually I can give so much information about all of our strains. It makes your whole experience, and so I had to rely a lot more on him talking about them because he's the one who's been trying them all. I'm jealous.
Yeah, I
don't
locked
have
myself
it.
in the shop last weekend for 3 days. Becca stayed at home. I took the truck. I left her freaking stranded here. And I went
Oh goodness.
smoked 8 different strains of 8 different phenotypes of weed. And
Oh, is that what you were doing?
I mean, of course, I had work to do out there. There was, of course, work, but you
That's
know,
why it
this-
took 3
Yeah.
That's what you've been describing. That's work.
that's a lot of work, man. All that work, all those different joints I had to roll them in. Jeez.
I got some
Yeah.
flour from one of the guys that I work with, and I can't remember the name of it. It's donkey something or other, he called it.
Donkey
But,
butter.
Donkey butter.
no, it's not donkey butter. I'd remember that one, and because
Okay.
Smokey's got that. But this is very I don't know. It's like Sherbanger. I get Sherb, like Sherbanger, and then I get like Downy dryer sheets. So it's super interesting, but like I seriously packed this bowl at the beginning. Yeah, we smoked this like little shorty here, but it really gets me high. So I don't know if it's just because it's a new strain to me kind of thing, but it's really good. So he did. Shout out Mike. He did a really nice job with that.
Sounds floral. Is that like
It is
like
floral, yeah. I'd say
like a
Um,
downy sheet, like a rose downy sheet? That's what I'm.
no, I don't get that. I get along the sherb lines.
Oh.
I would say more.
There we go.
I would definitely say it leans more along the sherb line.
Sherb, so a fruity. Oh, so
Ocean
our clothes
breeze.
are coming out nice, fragrantly fruity.
But I also get also an ammonia, like a capissy kind of like
Okay.
yeah, it's really nice. So I don't
Do you have any
this,
idea what
whatever this donkey
nutrients?
thing is he gave me
Yeah, what-
is really good. What'd you say?
nutrients does he-
Do you have any
Um,
idea what nutrients it was grown with?
He is pretty he's kind of a little difficult. I would probably say he's an organic guy if I would say anything. He's very
Why is that so funny, Red?
I'd say he's organic. He's
Is he like a hippie guy? Is he?
I would say he's hippie, but he's just eclectic.
The hell you mean by a
Um,
hippie? What are you talking about?
He's eclectic. He's different. I really enjoy talking to him. He's always very he's got a lot to talk about. He reminds me of Red.
Looks can be deceiving. I grow
But,
both.
he's funny. He'll come over and like sit down next to me. He's like, I got a thought. And I'm like, I'll look over and I was like, is this Red that I'm talking to right now? But yeah, I really enjoy talking to this guy. He's very he's got a lot of different thoughts and things, and he likes mushrooms, and he's talking about getting his own room going, and yeah, he's a pretty cool dude. So I'm excited to be able to have some of his flower and try it, because this is like the 3rd strain that I've had of his. He has this other one that they call it Amish Fire, and that is not the original name, but it's like a 30-year-old strain that him and his buddy have got going on right now that the one guy has kept. And I still can't get like the original name out of it. I can't even like narrow it down to any like certain smell, taste, or anything. But that flower messed me up so bad. So bad. It was good, but it was bad, It was one of those good but bads. at
More than
certain points of
expected.
it. It was definitely an experience because I knew the one guy is kind of a little older than me, so I knew if he was getting high from this, that this must be really, really good weed. And it like grabbed me by the boo boo a couple times. So it was.
What we got here, Red? What we holding up, Red?
A little bit of pink on the bottom there.
Say it again.
Oh, Delato. This is Delato.
It's a lotto. Okay.
Oh yeah, I see that pink.
A little bit
Yeah.
of pink on the bottom, and I'm
Red,
Even
shut up.
inside.
really handling it. Let's see.
Okay.
Nice and green. And this Delato had some purple to it. The other one though, the other one with all the orange and fucking red in the bottom, and then like the underside of the buds and just like white. It's just wild.
He's like, does this look okay? Is
Like
this okay?
overly every single bud, dude. I'm breaking every single bud. I'm like, why is this white on the inside? It's not mold white. It's just a white. It's like bleached. You know what I mean? But it's not under LEDs. And it's like I'm hitting every single bud with a fucking scope, dude. I'm scoping them. I'm like, I don't see any fibers. I don't see any mold. I don't see any.
What about when you trimmed it? Was the trim tray full? Did it look like a good hasher?
Oh yeah, dude. Oh my god.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I'm thinking you're just seeing trikes, man.
I have actually right here. I've got a couple different types of finger hash that sat out all night. Okay, so they sat out all night.
Look how fucking excited you are already, dude.
Oh, this is amazing.
And so what we got going on here is I don't know what they came from, but we have this little one. Look at the color. We're gonna do a color.
Wow,
nice.
yeah, that's really good color.
That's really nice.
gorgeous.
Amber, right? Amber, and this dried this color. Now, this in its form, it's a nice little ball. But if I were to like start giving it some wanting it to be tacky, and I crushed into it, I have a feeling that this would be brittle and crush into like heat. It would just crush into powder. Now, look at this ball.
Yeah, that's what I'm more used to seeing.
Okay,
There you go.
this ball here is still greasy, and if I go ahead and
It's greasy, yeah.
mash this fucker,
Mhm.
Yep.
go, dude, and this sat out the same amount of time as this. Sat out.
Wow.
And in this one, well, I guess this one's more the size,
You should have wrote what they came from.
and they're just sitting on the trim tray, so they just didn't have anything to write on. They're about the same size too. So, what I'm noticing is the trichome difference as it dries out. I don't even know if it was drying in. It was already dry. So the materials, cured material, finger hash from trimming, cured, dried material, not wet trimming or anything like that. So this material is already dried. The materials are already trimmed. The materials already cured. All that's happening is it's drying out a little bit more. Actually, it's humid in the house. It's curing humid. It's 60% humidity in this house, anyways. So it just oxygenated, I guess. So anyway, what I will know is that this was like for sure like rose gold, and this one's for sure this Dolato. So these greasy ones, these ones that are, is that yours or mine?
No, that's yours.
Yeah, that's crap slipper. So these ones are the greasier ones, the ones that are a little.
I hate to break up your thought, but why wouldn't you be upset no matter what? Why does it matter if it's yours or her?
No, I was just wondering which slipper it was.
Oh, okay.
Making sure he's not even hers. My slippers have been as
He wants them so bad, and
he knows not to have them. And if I had told him to drop it, he would have left it alone. But I was in the middle of a little thing going on, so
He was just missing you, and that reminded him
Oh,
of you.
he's being quiet.
Oh.
So I don't know. Just let him go, I guess.
oh yeah, you want him to ruin your shoe?
The cost of a podcast.
He grabs them, he brings them up here, and I tell him to leave it. He'll drop it. It's the only thing he'll actually drop if I tell him to leave it. Everything else he takes away and hides from us.
Second thing he's destroyed today.
He's had that toy the longest. That's his. Actually, it's been outside for all summer. It's his outside toy that he destroyed. Anyway, yeah. So I'm noticing that the greasier, stitholithic hair, gassy, like sweet gas, rubber ball smelling type stuff is leaving with this really nice greasy, Play-Doh-y, clay-like hash that does not dry out into this brittle ball, right? And I'm guessing that this brittle ball, oh, there it goes. There, I hit it with a little bit of force, and it crushed into, there it goes. It's breaking right apart. It's brittle. This dry sift was probably one of the Pearl Locos or something that was a little more doughy, a little bit more grainy, gritty, sandy. They very well both may be granular trichome style doing it, but
that's one of the things that the hashers, the solventless guys, they look for, right? Is the more gritty, grainy type stuff versus the greasy stuff. It's going to wash better, supposedly.
but there is something definitely coming off of the greasy stuff because here it is right here, and it's a decent.
Oh
amount.
yeah, well trust me, that's what we send to BHL, right? It's gonna work no matter what.
Yep. And yeah, that's just definitely something that I noticed as far as just non-solvent, non-mechanical form of hash made. I mean, what that's just hash being made. I don't know. Like, is it
That's closer to Charis than anything, probably.
right? Exactly. And I'd say the only thing that differentiates it from Charis is that I would imagine that Charis, what makes it really the delicacy is the fact that it's a living plant. It's live resin essentially.
Yeah, that's the whole cola. You know what I mean? Like
Live living plant. This is cured material. So, but as far as it being like a hash, a temple ball, something that's going to now I could see them if you really worked at it and you know you didn't just focus on yield, you took a great varietal nut tree, put another cloud in the air, and let's
man.
clouds in chat. See some smoke clouds for Nut Tree and Taro over here blowing a dab. Is it dab time or
I
seven?
guess so. Look at that Snosberry sticker right on there.
I'm dabbing it.
Oh, my buddy Baked Pone over the Trichome Forge.
I'm so jealous.
Does he did you
Sorry.
did you see Baked Pone's? I'm gonna tell his business. He's not on the show anymore.
Got him.
I don't think he
Tell his
posted.
business.
Honestly, I don't think he posted anything about it.
What?
But he got a new
Breaking
addition.
news.
A new addition to the family.
He
Ooh.
told me he was going to, but he didn't tell me it wasn't definite yet.
Okay.
Got a new doggy or what?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know the name yet. I know of a couple potential names, but he hasn't
What kind
picked
of
a
dog?
name.
What breed?
Female dog, and it is a Cocker Spaniel, I believe.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
It was really pretty. You know what? I'll see if I figure it, find it. Really cool dog because it's like the regular colors of Cocker Spaniel, they're like the white and the dark brown or whatever, but it has red eyebrows.
Oh wow.
Right.
Cool.
I know, dog.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
That's
Uh,
cool.
Baked, if you're listening, do you want to make Cocker Spaniel, Irish Setter, Golden Retrievers?
Oh gosh. You'd have to place the Cocker Spaniel on a chair for Ruben.
He's pretty nimble.
Yeah.
Aww.
He's made a pillow work. Those are
It
pretty
could
small.
not be. Maybe is it a puppy?
Yeah. Oh yeah, Brett. Yeah. Really young.
Well, I guess it's a tiny dog. He
It's a rescue. He went and got a rescue.
Yeah.
doesn't need his big. crate.
Actually, he was talking about getting like
Great.
brother and sister dogs and having like a pair together.
Well, he's
So-
got he read up that I guess it's better for puppies and their behavior is to
Yeah.
space them out, not to have them right at the same time. So he's
That's
waiting
what
a
they
few
said.
months or something like that, and then he might do that.
Was he doing 2 dogs?
We've really thought about getting Ruben a companion.
Yeah.
I
That's a
would-
good
He's gonna have one soon, y'all. Relax over there.
I told him his 2 dogs' names, but I suggested he hasn't gone with either one. But
He was looking at-
I suggested that his dogs should be called Frank and Beans because that would be sweet. Because Beans always
I like
I
that.
thought Beans would be a sweet name for a dog, and Frank's pretty cool. And to have Frank and Beans together, that's
That's
sweet.
pretty good.
Well, Ruben can't tackle our little baby. Come on.
Yes, that's why the work is going to be on you guys, not another dog. And
Yeah.
if you guys have 2 dogs, then who's going to watch the baby while 2 dogs are trying to tackle the baby?
Well,
Me.
I don't want another puppy like ever. I want
Damn
like a
She
2-year-old.
doesn't ever want a puppy again.
We've got this 11-year-old Yorkie Chihuahua that could probably hang out with Ruben for a
I
little
have a no Chihuahua adherence that I have to.
bit.
Ruben will eat.
Got to
it.
be more than 20 pounds around there.
He really wants to eat Bailey so bad.
He doesn't
Not
want to eat Bailey.
but like he like jumps on her like
he wants to
this.
just accidentally
body.
break her back. That's what he wants to do. This poor dog, she runs and finds a spot to hide from him because he just barks at her and barks
Too
at her.
much.
She just growls at him. She turns her back to him and is like, fuck off.
But like a 2-year-old dog that's already got manners that wants to play still, I think that's what Ruben could use. Or a kitten. We'll see. One or the other.
Don't get Masu Potts going on that.
She's
Oh my god.
wanted to come home from Tractor Supply with the duck. I'm like, let's just have the baby first. Let's have the baby. We'll do
So
the
stinky,
baby.
guys.
Let's do the baby, and then we'll start. Like, we have so many mouths to feed around here as it is. It's 10 chickens, a dog, us,
What else?
a baby.
No, a bearded dragon.
Oh, yeah,
Don't forget
bearded
about
dragon.
Oh, you disappointed.
Plus, we have a couple bunny rabbits. That we got scavenger bunny rabbits. They don't pay any rent. Why they?
Those are my least favorite rabbits right there. Those are my least.
Sounds like you need a couple snares in that yard.
You know,
I literally walked in my backyard this over the summer, and I went out on my back porch, which I love to do, just chill in the morning. And I look over, and in my brassica bed, it was like, here's this rabbit just fucking sitting there, like frozen, with like in mid chew, like on the plant, like he didn't even move his head off the plant. I'm like, I looked at him for a minute, he didn't move, and I was like, dude, get the fuck out of my bed. And it just like scared it and it ran away. But it's like, what the fuck? You
Sounds
I
like
don't
you
see
need
you.
a BB gun.
yeah. No, I just need to open the door and let the dog's out.
yeah.
yeah, I'm cool with the cat. It'd work out. I'd really like to just get this door fixed so that we can get him in and out, because it's kind of nice opening the door and he keeps himself occupied because he just goes in and out of the house at his own free will. We have a really small balcony,
He goes to the front window and then the back.
and then he just
porch
goes outside.
all
When he
day.
sees something out front, he can go outside and go fucking bark at it, do whatever he wants. I like the idea of a doggy door. I think that's kind of a cool idea. We just don't have like a run for him in the backyard where I would feel he's nice and contained on the balcony. He's chilling up here, but the yard, who knows what he would do.
Find his way in his
They're
chick coop again.
expensive.
Yeah,
He's
dude,
still
yeah.
getting them.
Yeah, Becca let him off leash today to go run around. And he fucking, when one of the chickens was out
Uh-oh.
being an idiot.
I didn't know she was out, and it's the same one. Like, don't you think
You'd think she'd learn, right?
he ran right
Damn
up
bird brains.
and just like was right on top of her. He wanted to start going.
He wanted to get into that
I
wound.
pulled him off with my whole body. It's real fun being pregnant.
I
with
was
a puppy.
loading the truck, so I had no idea any of that was going on.
Well, my 11-year-old Yorkie Chihuahua has been around chickens so long he thinks he's one, so he might fit right in over there.
Get it? He was 8 weeks old out there. We put him right in front of those chickens, and he sat there and he was.
Yeah, but there was a fence in between them, Red. That's the difference, man. There was a fence in between them the whole time.
The only reason that I didn't let him go in there was because of the whole
Poop?
yeah, the chicken poop, the bacteria, the viruses, and the fact that he hadn't had his vaccinations, dewormer, distemper, none of that stuff. You know what I mean? So thing puppies get when they're puppies.
Parvo.
Parvo. That was the big thing we were worried.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
who knows? Chickens might smell like chicken nuggets to dogs. So
And like a toy.
They definitely, yeah, it was definitely a toy at one point for my Mastiff Pit. She 6+ years ago, I found her inside of her own fenced area. Again, it was the fault of the chicken for going in her yard, but she just had this thing pinned down and was plucking feathers one by one out of its ass cheeks, and until I stopped it. She's gone from that, over 6 years ago to now she guards the small children. She gets in between the small children and the roosters because she knows these roosters are assholes. And if I tell her to go, she doesn't touch them. She hangs out with them all day long and everything. Honestly, probably guards them more than anything. But if I tell her to go after one of them, she'll put them in its place. She's really learned.
Maybe Ruben will get there.
Yeah, he's still got that puppy head, man.
Chickens hopping over into the garden though, and he hates it. He's like, you're not allowed to go over there. So he gets so mad, barking at the chickens all day because 4 of them, all the new ones go in the full garden every day, and
It's
we
kind of
can't
funny.
stop him.
We'll he's the alarm because he'll do it on the balcony. He'll just start barking, and we're like, oh, the chickens are in the garden. He knows exactly what he's barking at.
Yeah.
the fencing is like life changing though. Like to have the backyard fenced in, and I can just open a door and let the dogs just go.
Huge, dude. Yeah, because we do that with him at the farm. We're on a highway, so it's 55 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Terrified of him like getting off leash out there. You know what I mean? He knows to like stop and sit. When I'm training him, every time a car comes by, he sits. You know what I mean? So I'm hoping that if there's ever a scenario where he's off leash, he knows that command and sits down if a car's coming, because man, he wants to chase them. You know.
I got my dogs trained to chase the birds, out of the garden and out of the whole backyard, honestly.
Nice.
So I'll go to the backyard and I'll be like, I don't want to. No, they're not in here. I'll be like, hey guys, there's birds out there. And they know birds. When I say birds, they're like, fucking yeah, let's go, And then I give them like 2 or 3 seconds, like I pretend to open the door to get them all hyped up, and then they get really going.
Yeah.
And then I open the door and they just haul balls through the whole yard doing laps, and they'll chase and run after any bird. And I'll just the birds will just clear the fuck out. So if I see the birds, which I often do.
That was squirrels on the bird feeder for a little bit over here. You just stand at the door, you see them squirrels, get them squirrels, gotta get them squirrels.
We got squirrels that, like, I don't know, they live on our roof or in our attic or some shit. They go up our front porch has a pillar. So they get up on the roof through the pillar. Ruben will just sit there and fucking just watch, just ready. He thinks they're coming in the house. He's like, ready. See him go up the thing, and he'll like run out back here, like looking for him. It's like, I don't know where you think they went. But the bird thing, dude, him being a bird dog is hilarious, because every bird that flies, he'll watch. And he'll point, he'll like watch.
And
like
the geese
stop.
are back. He's obsessed with the geese.
The geese will fly over in a V, and he's like, what the fuck is this V of bird?
Yeah, you guys don't need ducks, man.
Dude, it's so funny. And then
Just 2.
airplanes fly over, and he like stops for airplanes and looks for airplanes, And last weekend was the Michigan game, and so dude, air traffic was insane. It was like every minute, dude, there was a plane flying over, and he was just, because he's with the doors open, so every time he'd go running outside on the balcony and look if the plane would fly. And then he'd come back in here a minute later, he'd go run out on the balcony and fucking look.
You should go take him by like the Willow Run Airport, or like one of those airports that you can kind of like, I don't know, see from, or you like see them taking off or something. I don't know. There's got to be a place you can take a dog to go watch airplanes.
The Willow Run Airport. Yeah, totally. That used to be my smoking route, would be driving around Willow Run Airport and
Nice.
doing
I
that.
drove past there so many times myself, man. They got a little air museum out there too. That's
Yeah,
cool.
dude. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that air museum is where I went to school. It used to be they had a little museum, and they moved the museum to where the school was. The school got moved a mile, not even at the airport anymore, which is pretty stupid, because the school should be at the airport. But yeah, I went to that school, and then a couple years later they turned it into the Yankee Air Museum, is what it's called. It's called the Willow Run.
That's right, the Yankee Air Museum.
And what's also really cool is the Rosie the Riveter, the Iron,
Yes.
the Iron Woman, Rosie the Riveter. First, she's still alive. The
She
woman
just recently passed, I think.
Oh, she just recently passed. Okay. She recently was interviewed for being, I don't know, like 91 years old or 100 years old or something, maybe 103 years old or something. Not bad for a factory worker, dude, to be honest. I mean, seriously, like that's wild. The Willow Run Airport made B-52 bombers, and that was one of the main production things. So I think Henry Ford, I think it was a Henry Ford plant at one time. I think Henry Ford had owned the property at one time, or did something like that, and they built maybe Model Ts there, and then they converted it over to B-52. And then I believe that from that point forward, it remained a airport base, and they built around it. And actually, the neighborhoods just south of where I grew up in, they call it Shack Town now. Housing, and they reconverted all the old military homes and everything in there into like affordable housing, Section 8 housing, things like that. But that was all military during the World War, and like literally when they talk about the baby boomers and they talk about the those tiki-taki baby boomer homes and all that stuff. That is the neighborhood, man. It's really wild. Like you can pretty much see it right out of your history textbooks from fucking high school.
Yeah, I love old buildings. I just love. Like I was up at the Capitol. I can't believe I didn't mention this yet. I was up at the Capitol for the rally on the 12th. But just I can sit there and look at those fucking old buildings like that, like the Capitol building, and look at all the etchings and the fucking carvings and the monuments and shit. I love that shit, man.
Yeah.
I love all the old buildings. Just walking around there too. You can walk around little parts of downtown Lansing. You'll catch some old buildings that are just cool as fuck.
That's super cool stuff, dude. It really is.
Yeah.
It's a time that we just don't.
Well, it seems like they gave a shit more about what it looked like
Craft.
than about just function. You're like, there's a little bit more to it.
Dude, those buildings, man, they had molds and they cast with plaster and all kinds of shit, and they'd fucking bring that shit in and they'd fucking lay it up in place, and then they'd fucking polish it in place, and they'd make it seamless. Dude, they would do so much crafting, you know. And I know that it's similar production today as it was then, but not the same. The quality's not there. The same materials aren't there. It's all for just get it up as fast and affordably as possible.
That's it. You can't spare an extra cent to make it look, you know, a certain way or whatever.
Yeah, there's very little there. I mean, dude, like some places are doing. I mean, there's places still do it. That still put intention into their architecture and shit like that. You know. Shit, I want to say like Dubai or something like that. It's putting a lot of intention into architecture. You know, I don't know enough about their architecture to say that for
Saudi. I thought Saudi Arabia that they had such a huge. I've heard rumors that it's failing, but
that
there's a huge ambitious thing where they were going
green it.
to build like a slit in the ground or some shit.
No. It's not in the ground. It's
It's like everything's on a slit, like
it's a multi-mile long city that's several. I mean, I don't know how many stories tall. Please, someone in chat, tell me what this is.
Oh, okay, yeah. All right.
And it's like basically built with mirrors, so you can't even tell it's like really there. But it's like
right.
feet tall, it's miles long, and it's supposed to house, you know, like hundreds of thousands of people or something like that. Very interesting, yeah, very ambitious project. I haven't heard much about it lately, so I don't know whether it's failing or succeeding, but I did see some progress videos initially of it, like oh, they're actually doing this. This is really being built, and I think maybe part of it was carving out a mountain, you know, range or something. So maybe that's why you're thinking of like the Slitter or something like that. But I don't think it's more or less above ground, I believe. Oh man, what is this called? Is it in Saudi Arabia?
I can't remember what it's called either. I wish I could. I think it is in Saudi Arabia.
I think
Okay.
so too. I do remember hearing something or reading something about this. Or I something.
It's called The Line in Saudi Arabia.
The Line. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna pull up the wiki here, and maybe there's a couple
Leave it.
in here. Let's go small. So The Line is a linear smart city under construction in Saudi Arabia, Neom Tabuk province, which is designed to have no cars, streets, or carbon emissions. So the city is one of 9 announced regions of Neom and is part of Saudi Vision 2030 project, which Saudi Arabia claims will create around 460,000 jobs and add an estimated $48 billion to the country's GDP. The Line is planned to be the first development of a $500 billion project in Neom. I hope I'm saying that right, because this is a lot. As part of the construction process, thousands of people have been forcibly moved to make way for the project, and villages have been raised. The original plans were for the city to be about 110 miles long and accommodate a population of 9 million people. Okay.
Yeah, that's what you originally hear. Now look at the new numbers. Then you'll be like, oh, okay.
That's which is 25% of their population as of 2022. According to a 2024 Bloomberg report, this was later scaled down to a population of 300,000, housed in 2.4 kilometers or 1.5 miles by 2030. So yeah, significantly by like 99%. Saudi officials denied this claim and stated that the project was continuing as planned. So I guess they've got 5-6 years to prove one way or another, but there's got to be some pictures, right? So I think it like does exist. I'll find them.
But yeah, they had some concept arts or something they had to. But it's just like, yeah, I don't know. The whole thing of population density, like cities, is already bad enough, and now you're squeezing people on top of each other too. Come on.
Well, I mean, some people are all for that.
A quarter of all for that. Who's all for that?
There's a lot of people that would love for everyone to live in cities.
I missed the question. What was the question? What was the?
I was saying that I thought that cities.
What's the polarized?
I was saying the cities are already populated enough where you're on top of each other. Now this is going to be where it's going to squeeze you even more densely.
But it's a smart city. There's no carbon emissions. There's no.
Who gives a fuck?
Is that?
I don't want to live there.
AI version of what it
that was concept. That was a concept.
Concept. Okay. Yeah, I looked at Halo, like the godliness that it has to it. Look at that. It looks like a heavenly city.
Yeah.
It was like this infinite.
Yeah, but it was supposed to be 110 miles long.
No,
Yeah,
it's 1.5.
What is the?
That looks like the Hanging Gardens almost.
So again, ambitious, interesting.
Where's all of the waste going? Is like going off site?
They got a big desert. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Big desert, somewhere off in the desert, so not in their populated areas like.
I mean, I was gonna say we just shove it in corners like along the expressway and stuff. So
most populated areas you could possibly find. Put it. Oh, you have no population in that area? No, fuck that. Don't put it there. Put it where you have a lot of population. That's where you put the toxic waste. I want to piggyback on what Sacred Terra was talking about. Henry Ford in making hemp vehicles and things like that. I think I have to take care of Ruben for a second, real quick. Hold on 1 second. I'll come back to that.
That was a teaser. That was a red teaser.
Big time red teaser. What can you guys think of that we should be using hemp for right now that we're not?
Gasoline.
Okay.
We could get off dependence of all other countries. We had to change some engines around, maybe run some diesel.
I feel like we should be using more textiles for hemp. And there's definitely more usage for that.
For sure, especially really durable stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know what the process looks like for really any of this, but it seems like we use a lot of paper. Well, actually, you know what? We've toned down a lot on that.
Yeah,
I think about it.
I guess so. Now that everything's online,
Yeah, there's so much like cloud work, especially with the pandemic. Honestly, like the Obamacare that pushed everything to be digital.
It's a lot of junk mail.
Okay, I'm curious here, and I don't know. This might be too much information. I don't know. I don't really feel like it is, but I don't have any checks. I've gone.
Oh yeah, most is direct deposit, right?
So no, even more than that, like I haven't even purchased any checks just to have in case I need something kind of thing. I know you do,
But I haven't.
but you haven't like actually actively purchased any recently.
Yeah, barely use them.
Yeah, barely. Does anybody else use checks for anything?
Yeah, I got checks.
Okay.
I would mail in checks. I don't have to anymore, but I think the most recent checks that I would write were going to the state of Michigan for medical cards.
Okay.
That's the most common for doing caregiver transfers. There was like a $10 fee that you had to send to the state. And so most of my checkbook was filled up for those. That was, probably a couple years ago. I might even write a check for, I don't know, a tax bill or something like that.
Yeah, a handful a year, but it's not common, for me.
Yeah, I just don't find myself using it at all.
I mean, there was a point at which I had a thick checkbook. You know what I mean?
Definitely, yeah.
Stubs and all this stuff. You know what I mean? And that thing hasn't been busted out in a long time.
Yeah. It's kind of funny how things have. I I remember, that was one of the things in my marriage. That was a major thing that was an issue is keeping the check.
Balance the checkbook.
Balance of the
this time. We better
checkbook.
balance it better this time.
Dude, I never.
It's like my parents. They're talking that shit last week.
I have.
Yeah, I mean,
Write that shit down.
I have checkbook balancing from when I was like 12.
Did you save the receipts?
2 lines.
Yep, the receipts. You save the receipts, yeah.
That's my balancing version of checkbook. I just
So it's kind of
figured out. I'll go through the receipts.
kind of comical how things have evolved and gone where they have gone now.
Well, speaking of saving receipts and stuff, I think there was just a big class action lawsuit against Home Depot for overcharging at the register. And I of course, only saw the headline, and now that it's clicking about what we're talking about, I wish I knew more about it. But
Me too.
I've seen this happen at restaurants, for example, especially when you're getting charged for something you didn't order, or I don't know, just things that it just seems to happen more often at restaurants than it does a place where you're actually just scanning items, I guess. But yeah, you gotta check your receipts.
Definitely, you always need to.
Okay, that's speaking of Home Depot and concrete and hempcrete and hemp and I guess concrete. There's concrete pillars over these train tracks in Oakland that are from Thomas Edison and Henry Ford that we're working on an electric train. We got electric cars now. It's a big topic again. Polarizing topic for some reason, but I mean, the concept of electric vehicles has been going on over 100 years. Henry Ford was pioneering it with Thomas Edison. They had an electric train routed from Detroit to Toledo, as a matter of fact, and this train line, I don't know if the electric portion of it ever got up and running. It's currently part of an old Amtrak system in Dearborn and stuff now, but they're these old steel, there's steel and concrete arches that go over the train tracks, and that was a part of what was to electrify those that rail. Well, this is probably there's a current electric system downtown.
This is a concept, but you bringing this up made me think about this post I saw on Reddit in the Michigan subreddit, I think yesterday, today, something like that. It was the concept of having a rail system, using existing rail infrastructure here in East Michigan. And look at that, man. I mean, that coverage is from Port Huron to Toledo, Lansing and Jackson to Detroit, all the way out to Owasso, Flint, and Lapeer. Like,
that's what Henry Ford and Thomas Edison had done, was they were on one of those main line railroad tracks and just using it and running electric systems on it. It's pretty cool to see those. Like, I don't know how, I think that like they were maybe magnetic or something, some sort of like alternating magnet current or something going through those arches, and they push the fucking train along somehow, some way. I don't know. It was anyway, Henry Ford worked with hemp back in the early 1900s. Some of the first cars that Henry Ford designed and built with might even be the Model T, or one of the models after that, Model T, or before, was not only the interior but the exterior as well. You're talking like what we have today as fiberglass. I mean, they were creating composites with hemp. They were creating the seats, using as much of that hemp material as they could. And Henry Ford pioneered some vehicles, and I believe he collaborated with some other inventors and stuff. Probably more Thomas Edison. Did a lot of collaborating with Thomas Edison and those guys of that time. And then the ribbon down. Hey, yeah, so you're gonna fall and hurt yourself. And then another big thing, because of all of the manufacturing that he was doing, he wasn't importing a lot of the stuff that he would get for his manufacturing. So in Michigan, we have a place called Copper Harbor, Iron Mountain, and a couple of these other areas, specifically Iron Mountain. which are northern Michigan, pretty far from Detroit and from where a lot of the automotive manufacturing is done. But it's where a lot of
Ours
the
are barking too. That's so crazy, and they're like off the chain right now.
he wants our incense for some reason. He's just on one tonight. The iron used for the steel, Michigan steel, all the steel here in Michigan was mined up in Iron Mountain, and it was all very local, and Henry Ford created a city up there. I believe he may have even was part of in the creation of City Marquette or something like that. But yeah, up in Iron Mountain, I think Iron Mountain, Michigan was Henry Ford created this city for logging and for iron ore mining to be used for you're talking of vertically integrated automotive manufacturing, right? I love talking about vertically integrated business, you know what I mean?
Because it affects cannabis more than probably anything right now.
Yeah, it's farming, you know what I mean? It's farm to table, farm to fork, farm to food truck, you know, that type of thing. Like this is in manufacturing, you know, anything, you know, that could be a tool, a tractor, the Ford tractor, you know, chainsaws, whatever you could get from Ford manufacturing back in the early 1900s. And that stuff was mine milled, created all pretty much within the region of just Michigan. You know what I mean? It's very wild how that was like the single source, almost like farm to table.
That's what got him interested in hemp.
Part. Yeah. And what was that, Spartan? You say what got him interested in hemp?
So that's what got him interested in hemp when he was able to make the entire fucking car and then run it on hemp gasoline.
Yeah, fuck yeah, dude. Absolutely.
And he's like, oh, I can just have farmers around me grow this, and that's all I need. Yep. Well, he needed the processing equipment too, which had to be a lot more durable than the normal stuff. So
iron ore, you know what I mean? And so he builds the mines to do that. He employs whatever, you know, population to do that, but he created this city to basically do that. In police, fire, this whole thing, you know what I mean? It's a very wild thing that that company did, and he did. And I don't know, I don't want to get into, you know, whatever other types of crap. I mean, people have been trying to cancel Henry Ford for fucking decades, but I fucking was raised a daddy red and lived in a home that was bought and paid for through Ford Motor Company.
I was just gonna say, Henry Ford bought the fucking houses for his employees.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, that's what I mean. That's basically what that city was. He owned that city for the employees to basically live there, to work for him. And like, that's Hamtramck. Hamtramck he did the same thing in Detroit. He built a city in the middle of Detroit to probably evade taxes and do some other things. You know, I mean, you know, he was able to do it, you know, and create a whole I mean, look, a whole melting pot was pretty
Hold on, I can have people that work for me and I pay them, but they're gonna pay me to live. I mean, come on, guys.
It's
they bought that. No, they got the houses on lower, like much lower rates than what if you were just to go out and buy a house.
And probably got approved because it was boss. You know what I mean? Yeah, of course, yeah. It's an opportunity. I get it. There's pros and cons to it.
They bought it. It's not like it's not like something like even a 401k plan where they can fucking rip it out from you. You know, they say we're gonna stop all our contributions. This was something that you physically lived in, and it was yours if you paid it off.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's pretty big. That's physically.
Times were way different than they are now, huh?
Hey, listen, the reason my family is in this state is because of the opportunities that the automotive industry provided for them 80 years ago.
A home builds generation wealth. It's huge. And it's like, you know, if you were to talk to a lot of the people, the young people today in the workforce, what's the one thing that they would like dream of, but they don't think they'll be able to get and obtain? And it's a house.
Mm-hmm.
So to be able to say, I'm going to work for this company, it's going to fucking let me have a house.
Well, you know,
in today's day and age, it's huge.
It's difficult to, you know, reach for the stars today, but you know, back in the days when it was a little bit more opportunistic, is that a word? Did I use that word properly? Back in those times, like let's say you do get in at the ground level FMC when they're doing hemp fucking cars, and he's buying homes and building them, doing the thing, and you're able to have that opportunity. That era is the auto manufacturing era is what provided income and housing and all that stuff for literally my whole family, my entire family. All my grandfather, great grandfather, grandfathers on my mom's side were all in the like steel industry and automotive industry and doing all of that since they kind of came over from Malta in the early 1900s. My dad's side of the family, mostly carpentry and stuff like that. But my dad himself worked for Ford Motor Company for 45, 50 years, something like that.
It's hard not to have some history with the automotive industry if you've lived in the state for more than a few decades, or if your family's been around for a few generations. You for sure someone has either worked directly for one of the big three, or they've been some part of some ancillary company. Maybe they started a company that served one of the big three. But yeah, that's a big part of it.
Yeah, my mom's dad worked for Cadillac. I got a whole bunch of like Cadillac, like stuff that he'd get for like, you worked for Cadillac for 10 years, here's a fucking watch, like stuff like that. I think
sick jacket that you can not find today.
I got a huge ass Cadillac emblem, stuff like that. Came out of his like bar and some pretty cool stuff. I actually have a deck of cards, Cadillac. Let me grab this. Is actually pretty cool. I just found it.
They're right here.
Another thing that's always right here. The house of clutter. So this is really cool. So this was my grandfather's.
Looks like a cigar box.
Doesn't it? That's pretty cool. Even
That
cool
is pretty sweet.
cigar box though, because it's holding
Double deck.
cards, dude. Double deck of cards. Let's see if
That's
I
pretty
can-
sick. Those are the original cards too. Yeah, oh yeah.
No cards. Say Cadillac.
That's super cool.
They've got some games under them.
Are you sure it's not like only 5 cards deep and there's actually like joints under there or something? Or
Look through it. This in there. One side is shorter than the other, so some cards may have been snagged and used for something. But
Count 'em real quick, bro.
who did it? What period of time? This thing was from fucking probably from the 70s or the.
Well, just count them. Do they have 52 cards?
I don't know. I have to count them. I do. I don't want to touch it right now, but yeah, definitely.
Take it down to the Antique Roadshow next time it comes to town.
Seriously.
Antique Roadshow. That's funny.
This thing, I might as well show off the patch collection. Here, look at this.
Yeah,
Ooh,
do it.
nice.
There you go. That's a cool one.
Let's see. We got a Billy String. What is this? Billy Strings guitar pedal patch. These are iron. A couple of these are iron-on patches here. Oh, here's another. These were ones we got. Billy Strings with some random Chinese lettering, maybe a world tour.
I'm gonna go ahead and say Japanese, but I have no idea.
Sunflower.
That looks like a sunflower is what I was thinking too.
Might be an iron. Yeah, it's totally iron. We've got the Dire Wolf with red eyes. Oh yeah, nice little Dire Wolf for our Deadhead friends. This patch made by Gypsy Rose. So there's our Gypsy Rose stamp of authenticity, and we've got this beautiful Gypsy Rose patch with a Steely. So it was acquired on Deadlot at our last Dead and Company show. Would have been our last Dead and Company show was last summer. So this would have been acquired a couple summers ago. And then I got this one a couple summers prior, which is a bigger Steely. And I didn't realize it when I bought it, but it's actually all blue in here because if you look back here, I think it bled. I think it got wet. You can see it's like stained, I think. So I ended up not putting this one on my jacket. I ended up getting a different patch for my jacket, but yeah, I like good old patches for the jacket. I like patches and pins. Speaking of hemp, Levi a couple years ago made a 80% hemp jacket, 80% hemp, 20% cotton, all natural. I like Levi's.
That would be. Do you have one?
Yeah,
That's just indestructible and probably the most comfortable fucking thing you have.
It was during the pandemic, and I was here living all alone, and I was like, I need a new fucking wardrobe and like go out where you can't go out. You know what I mean? And without that jacket, Becca probably wouldn't even have thought I was cool. So shit, dude. I needed it. Actually, I didn't meet her with that. I had probably
Hook, line, and sinker.
my black denim jacket. So I got a couple denims. I was like, I need a black denim and a gray denim. What was cool is that they made the hemp denim jacket in gray, and I was like, that's a nice. I got that millennial gray thing going on. You know, have you heard of the millennial gray? I'm definitely one of those millennial gray people. So
No, what is that?
apparently millennials like the color gray. So I'm one of those aged millennials.
Well, depends. Gray's got some place for sure. I'm
It-
not-
maybe it's because the dude from Counting Crows in the song Mr. Jones and Me was like, gray is my favorite color.
Oh, you're right. I forgot that.
And so maybe that little, and I hope we don't get flagged because I said 3 lyrics of a song, but
Well, it did sound exactly like him. So
Yeah, I mean it was pretty spot on. The
Very
auto
much
AI
so.
stuff might,
I'd have to admit I saw Counting Crows at Meadowbrook or Freedom Hill or something. I'm actually a Counting Crows fan. So there was a time where like the song December, I think they have a song called I want to say September, but that was Earth, Wind and Fire. Their song is December. Yeah, there's
Earth, Wind, and Fire. That's yes.
J5, one up for the Gray Gang. All right. Oh yeah.
how do we make it all the way to like 2.5 minutes before the end of the show and not talk about snacks yet?
Oh my gosh, I know we haven't.
I have
Well,
fucking Peter
that's,
Town.
that's definitely a new record for sure.
Definitely.
I got all full on soup when I got home.
Ooh.
Yeah. Becca was making some mac and cheese.
And that's difficult to get full on soup.
I know, dude.
Oh,
Yeah,
Becca,
a
I
brothy
made
one for
some
sure.
pesto, grilled chicken, mac and cheese this week for you, girl.
That
Oh,
green onion was so big, it filled me up with a bowl of soup.
That's a bribe right there. That's the one hard to turn down.
I did that this week. I did chicken and dumplings this week for
Oh,
my kids.
Nice.
God.
Yeah.
Dumplings.
I love chicken.
Last year, the Third Eye Craft Affair. Shout out to Dump Him Dumplings.
Ooh,
Was the
the
food
best.
today. Yes.
Dump him dumplings.
Dump Him
Mhm.
Dumplings. Yep.
Best. Those are the best.
Dump Him. You might as well do it with some dumplings. That's what I
We
Yeah.
got some
There you
I want to shout
Some-
out somebody. If you don't
Yeah.
mind. Dank Dew.
Thing do. Okay. Who's this?
Fuck it. It's the stuff that you spray in your water, your toilet water, and make it smell like. And she's got like 20 strains. I was sitting there smelling every one of them.
That's funny.
What is she? It's website dankdew.com. So that's pretty easy to remember.
Okay.
Now I
But yeah, I thought that was because she had a booth set up at the Capitol rally. So shout out to the Michigan Weasters for the rally.
That's
Hell
very
yeah.
funny.
Thing do. Check them out.
I'm bummed I didn't get a chance to be there. We couldn't make it. The fucking Weedsters are fucking awesome, and huge shout out.
They're so awesome.
Yeah, you can get a membership with them right now for $4.20. See your
Oh, yeah.
membership.
Where do we go for that?
Oh, their website. So it's put Michigan Weasters into your favorite search bar, and it's going to pull up probably a .org if I remember right.
Mhm.
But
I think so.
Yeah, I think that for not being able to make it to the thing, I think I'll sign up both Becca and I for that. And in the same respect, we did do our part, and Becca signed up a patient for her being a caregiver. So we're keeping the
Awesome.
program alive. Get your med
Yeah,
card.
keep it going.
Get your med cards. Find a patient. Grow for them.
Absolutely.
put that link in chat for people.
Oh
Right.
yeah, appreciate it.
When you if you get a 420 subscription, it gives you a little box where you can add more if you want to as just a donation.
All right, appreciate it, guys. We'll see you guys next week.
Appreciate you guys. Cheers.
everyone.
Keep growing, everybody.